and now you should be able to hear me. call this meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency to order, better known as the CRA. In the interest of time, efficiency, and ensuring that everybody who wishes to address the council, address the board rather, is given the opportunity to do so, the following will apply to all comments made by the public. Each speaker will be permitted 3 minutes to address the board. Thank you for participating in your city government. I see there's a lot on the agenda this evening, and all I don't know if we'll get to it all, but we'll try to cover as much as we possibly can. But I want to say up front that we're going to try to stop about 10 minutes to 3 to allow the city clerk and IT to switch over as well as we switch over to dais. So he'll give us 10 minutes to do all that, if we may. But that being said, I'm going to ask city manager, if he doesn't mind, to lead us in prayer, and we'll pledge allegiance to the flag after that. Please.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this beautiful day and all of our blessings. Thank you for how you continue to bless our community. We pray for your wisdom in each and every decision that's made today. Give the council wisdom, those that are sharing wisdom, and we welcome your help and continue to show your safety and your protection here. And we thank you for all your blessings now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the 22 October 2024 meeting and the January 14th, 2025 meeting of the CRA board. I need a motion.
Motion to approve item number 1, meeting minutes.
I second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of item minutes from October 27, 2024 and January 14, 2025. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and chair vote aye as well. We have 7, oh, we're missing one. 6-0. Item number 2 for consideration, resolution number 34.
Good afternoon, board. Good afternoon, board members. Scott Bohr, Director of Finance for City of Clermont. The resolution before you is a requested budget amendment for the fiscal year that recently ended, 24-25. It is essentially a reconciliation of activity that occurred during the fiscal year. On the revenue side, the amendment requests an addition of just over $77,000. These are slightly higher than anticipated revenues during the year related to ad valorem and interest income. And on the expenditure side, there's no request for any additional dollars, but simply this reflects a reallocation through budget transfers that staff initiated throughout the year. I'd be glad to answer any specific questions you might have.
Are there any questions? None. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone and state your name and address and have 3 minutes. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone, state your name and address, and have 3 minutes. Seeing no one, close public comment, bring it back to the board. What say the board? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve item number 2, the fiscal year and budget amendment for the fiscal year 24-25 budget.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of item number 2, resolution number 34, which is an amendment to year-end budget for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And chair vote aye as well. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 3 is for consideration, resolution number 35.
Thank you again, board. Scott Bohr, City Finance Director. The resolution before you would establish the CRA budget for fiscal year 25-26 in the amount of $977,732. This budget was approved by the City Council as part of the broader city budget on September the 18th. In addition to an increase in ad valorem taxes, a couple Significant items on the expenditure side I'll point out to you is the addition of some allocation of sanitation personnel expenses related to compactor service within CRA. And the second thing is a anticipated debt service payment for a proposed parking garage project during the fiscal year. And again, I'll be glad to answer any specific questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, where is that 400K for the debt services? Where is that coming from? Is anything, I see that we've reduced the capital outlay or overlay.
Yeah.
Where else is that money coming from? Is anything kind of falling to the wayside?
The
with that
overwhelming
redistribution?
revenue source for the CRA is ad valorem taxes that comes from the county, the city, and the district itself.
Sorry, I mean, we didn't have that we didn't have that 400,000 set aside in a prior
Correct.
year.
Correct. Well, the last year's, the 24-25 fiscal year, the numbers are not official yet because the audits are completed. But of the $900,000 budget last year, the CRA only spent roughly $280,000. So there is no current projects ongoing within the CRA that we are taking these dollars from.
If I can jump in on this, is what you're talking about is for the anticipated parking garage debt
Yeah.
service. Please forgive me. I'm showing an overage last year of 77,719, but you just said we only spent 200,000 of the almost 900,000 of the CRA. Did I mishear you?
Well, that you're comparing actual to budget numbers.
Okay.
The budget numbers has that overage, but the actual spending was significantly less than what the budget was.
So where are those extra dollars, that 600,000?
They will go into the fund balance and will be available for future use as the board sees fit.
Into the CRA fund balance?
Yes.
What is the total on the CRA fund balance?
At the end of our most recent audit, it was just over $1 million. Given the activity that we just spoke about during 24-25, it'll be closer to $1.7 million. And that audit will be completed in early spring.
Do we want to open up for public comment or keep having discussion?
This is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone, state your name and address, and have 3 minutes. This is a public forum. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone and state your name and address and have 3 minutes. Seeing no one, I close public comment. You say, Mr. Scott, you say with this, it was gonna be close to 1.7 million, you say?
That's where we currently are, yes, sir.
Okay. That's before the other item we just spoke about before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve item number 3.
Sorry, I have,
Oh, I'm sorry.
well, no, you're good. If this is not the right place for this discussion, feel free to tell me. But I'm curious, we only have about 10% in the budget that's allocated for like grants and direct incentives. How does that amount get determined? I would love to see that be more, and I would love to see residents included in that. We don't have that included.
So I'll add to this for today's conversation, this whole list of items number 5 through 13 were at my request, so we can have that exact conversation.
Okay.
So how we want to handle the meeting, I'm 100% there with you so that we
Yeah.
can do something
Because I'm
really
sure that's
great.
supposed to happen earlier, not right now.
Right.
I would love to know.
Well, we can't talk until we're here, right? So that is why those items are on the agenda. And so might we consider possibly moving the approval of 25, 26 to the end once we've had these discussions about where we want other funds to be spent possibly? Is that something the board might consider?
What I would say is just go ahead and approve the budget, and we can just do a budget amendment as we see fit.
Just a second. The 10% you were referring to was for the grant that we have, the 100,000 we put in every year for the grant. I'm not sure exactly. Kirk, how did that work? The 100,000 we always put in there for the grant each year, was that determined by agreement or what? I don't know how they ever
That's
came.
the CRA board
Right.
establishes how much they want to put into that account for grants.
Okay.
And what grants we want to fund. Currently, there's the building, there's the facade, and the food service grant right now.
Okay. I know we made some adjustments to the highest issued the grants because
Right.
we got to the point where one person was seeing
We did make,
basically-
yes, we did make some modifications, but they're still out there, those three, and it's really up to this board whether we continue with those, modify them, whatever the pleasure is.
And when's the, I don't see that necessarily on this agenda.
No.
When's the time for that conversation?
We could have
When you
another
request
CRA
it to be
meeting.
on a CRA meeting.
Yeah.
I request it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can, I think that's between the CRA and everything, but between those, decide to increase that amount. But yeah, it's been at 100,000 for years and.
There's only
as long as I
one
can
time it
remember.
came close to being depleted,
Yeah,
and there's still maybe $10,000 left, but there's only 1 year that happened. Normally, I'd say we only use about maybe half of it.
Half of the 100,000?
Yes.
And the plan, the 2015 plan does set up for residential improvements in this, but none of our grants,
No.
they all exclude
That was
residential,
the
right?
decision, the last decision when we discussed the grants is to leave the residential out of it.
Okay, even though it's in the 2015 plan.
It's in the 2015.
Isn't that is that
Yeah,
the
that
latest
was,
I'd
plan?
go-
so this board would have approved it.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm not 100% familiar with what the grants are used for.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing today, I think a lot of the items that I have that I want to be talking about is overall, and Mr. Howard, I think you make a valid point about if we approve the budget as is, what we have is $1.7 million that has been accrued over time that's sitting in reserves that we don't have a plan for. And you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. I don't believe in taxing the people and not having a plan for it. So I think possibly my concerns and your concerns could be wrapped up in that 1.7. If I'm off base, fellow members, please let me know. I'm wondering if it would make sense for us to maybe do like a workshop where we go over a lot of these items and we talk about the grant and we recognize the 1.7 and figure out a plan for how we want to allocate that or leverage that. I think I'm hearing you say improvements, real estate improvements. I think there will be a need for that. So I think that's bigger than today's budget, but I do think it's worth doing. I mean, how do we feel about having a CRA workshop in the fairly near future, or even another meeting where we can go over this and talk about allocation of the 1.7?
So,
I would love that.
not
Yeah.
to pick on you, Allison, but when we went through
I
our
like when you pick on
budgeting
me.
process, you wanted to direct a lot of things back to the CRA.
Yes,
and-
I do.
And repeatedly, I said
Yeah.
that the CRA would now be broke. So yes, we do have to have that bigger conversation. I mean, we can have a high-level discussion on these items, 5 through 13.
Yeah.
But to actually land, I mean, you need to have a budget discussion of, these are our priorities, this is what we're willing to fund. We're not going to be able to fund all of this, and along with residential and everything else. So yes, you're going to need to have a overarching conversation, but I think, we can probably whittle some of these down and move that along, but it'll take another meeting. So I'm going to make a motion to approve item number 3 as is.
A second.
okay. I have a motion and a second for approval, item number 3, resolution number 35, which is fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for the CRA. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And chair vote aye as well. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 4 is for consideration of a contract agreement.
Thank you again, Board, and Scott Boer, City Finance Director. As stated, the agreement before you is with Main Street to provide any amount of $70,000 in the now approved CRA budget. It is to provide projects, initiatives, marketing, and special events that promote downtown Clermont within the CRA district. The agreement is nearly identical to the same agreement as last year, and it's ready for your consideration. We'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
All righty, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone and state your name and address and have 3 minutes. Anyone in the public wish to address this item may come to the microphone, state your name and address and have 3 minutes. Seeing no one, I close public comment, bring it back to council, board.
Main Street's been a great partner, so. I'm sorry? No, I was gonna say Main Street's been a great partner. I'm gonna motion to approve item number 4, agreement for services with Main Street.
I second.
Have a motion and a second for approval of item number 4, Main Street Agreement for Services in the amount of $70,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair vote aye as well. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 5 is to discuss sharing expenses of downtown code from DPZ. All right.
So this gets into my list. Realistically, for purposes of the discussion, item number 12 encompasses items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I mean, I think this is a policy question, item number 12, and then the specific items that are on the agenda before item number 12 actually go to what kind of policy do we want to adopt relative to the question of, you know, how much is coming from the CRA versus how much is coming from the general fund. So really, it's not my goal. Now I'll do whatever you all want. I got this on the agenda, right? But it's not my goal to have prolonged discussion about each of these items. It's more to say for items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, what of these are we anticipating would be funded from the general fund and what is to be funded from the CRA? This kind of goes to the workshop. Maybe I've kind of caused the workshop. Maybe we table these items for now until we discuss it at a workshop. But I would like to get some idea of the board's position on, from a policy standpoint, how do we feel about these expenses and to what extent are we asking the general fund to pay it and to what extent are we asking the CRA? That's why these are on here. So I'm perfectly happy to table every single one of them if we want to put it on a workshop.
So I'm going to kind of hit on on an overarching. I don't think we need to have a policy telling us how we're going to spend the money because there's a finite amount of money in the CRA. So we can only fund the things we want to fund. Having a policy that says we're going to fund this, that, or the other becomes problematic when we can't fund this, that, or the other. So I do not want to get into where we are going to clarify or write a policy that boxes us in. I just don't think that's a good path to go. I don't have an issue with sharing expenses, and I'm just going to cover all this because we got to move through it anyway. Obviously, garage plans can go through there. Art walk is probably not going to go through there just because of the expense. Some of the parts of Meet Us in the Middle, sure. New comprehensive plan team, I mean, that's part of DPZ. You just got to figure out how much we want to send that way.
My apologies, 10 is more of an update for everybody, I think. I shouldn't have spoken to 10. I'm
Okay.
sorry, that
So-
one wasn't me.
So ultimately, I mean, I don't have an issue with funding part of these, but the De Hoya property is not going to be funded through the CRA. I mean, you know, you're just kind of robbing money from it. And it takes away from the CRA's ability to be strategic on doing things for the CRA. But yeah, so DPZ is a direct link. Garage plans are a direct link. And I think Meet Us in the Middle is a direct link. So I wouldn't have an issue with funding pieces from there, but,
So I think that's, how do we feel about doing a workshop on these particular items? Because my concern as, in my position as city council, and is that we have funded the road improvement project, $17 million. We funded Victory Point, $28 million, and that came from the general fund. Yet we, during that time, have put away $1.7 million in the CRA fund that wasn't even in the budget this year until it came up at this meeting. And so I'm not suggesting that the CRA can fund all of it, but it seems unjust for us to ask the folks who live in Wellness Way and who live in Waterbrook and who live in, you know, Southwest Clermont to 100% fund projects in the CRA when the CRA has its own fund. And I'd like to see a more strategic plan. I mean, when I hear that we're not spending money on grants and we're leaving some on the table, to me, that's like marketing money. It's like not spending your marketing money. And we need to spend our marketing money so that we can have success. It's an investment in the community. So if we don't spend it, to me, that's problematic. I'm being checked. All right, tell me what I'm doing wrong.
No. I just want, I'm Chris Chamois, your city attorney. I just want to add some context to the things you're bringing up for the CRA's consideration, which is that I think the CRA's limit of what it can do is essentially its redevelopment plan. If it's in there, then you have the ability to allocate funds for it and do it. I think looking backwards, retroactive reimbursements is legally difficult. Prospective expenditures on all the things on your agenda, I think, are fine and consistent with your redevelopment plan. The only thing I'd like to ask you to consider in your discussion on this is that if the CRA does decide that it wants to fund something in part or in whole, to consider it may require an interlocal agreement with the city. Now, most of you, some of you will not be a part of the discussion on the city side, but that's just something to consider. It will need to be in writing, I think. So that's just what I wanted to point out.
So ultimately, I think we do have to have a workshop on this because our tree beautification for
Right.
downtown isn't in here. And I think that's another easy one to say that absolutely should come from CRA. That was one that I could look at and be like, you know what? This beautification plan that we have should come from CRA. So there's pieces and parts that are going to be there.
At what point do we just need to refresh the redevelopment agency plan? It's been since 2015. We're talking about a lot of stuff here, and I think that could be really beneficial. And is that perhaps included, though, with what DPC is doing with the overlay here? Because this is big picture stuff we're talking about, and I think it's common to refresh those. I think we're due for a refresh.
Mr. Mathis, can you speak to that at all on what our parameters are for the downtown code project? You're going to come up. Sorry.
And I definitely wanted to speak to that as well. I don't mind helping fund the comp plan funding or the LDR funding that deals with downtown, but why don't we, if we can consider an amendment to their contract, that we could get a proposal that's reasonable to help them rewrite the redevelopment plan at the same time, because certainly 2025 downtown doesn't look much like 2015 downtown.
Right, and so the original scope didn't really address the CRA specifically. It was just for the form-based code for that northwest quadrant and the comp plan, but it didn't address the CRA. CRAs, as you know, is in legislation again, might be changing.
Sure.
We'll know more, and I'll give that as my report tonight, or this afternoon, hopefully not tonight, this afternoon, about the Florida League of Cities policy committee. So I'm on the policy committee for land development, building code, and we're discussing CRAs tomorrow, not tomorrow, Friday when we meet. But in the scope of the DPZ plan, it was not in there to do the CRA.
So, Mr. Mathis, are you saying they still looking at bringing the eliminate CRAs again this year? That's coming back again?
They are. They're still looking at making it more difficult and making it harder to do any new projects, as well as just eliminating it altogether and sunshining them earlier.
So any insight on what's the difference from what they did last year and what they're talking about doing this year? Because I haven't been able to find out anything on it.
I will know more Friday.
Okay, Friday.
I haven't read the whole
okay.
packet yet.
Yes.
So if it pleases the council, and Christian, if I'm out of line, let me know. I've never tried to do something like this, but I'm going to suggest we table items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11 until a workshop to address each of those as part of, I think I'd still like to have more discussion on item 12.
So I'm going to second that, but we need to have a specific date. And I don't know if we would do a meeting on Veterans Day, because that would be our next November meeting, the 11th. So I know Novembers are always kind of weird for meetings. And I'm not sure how everybody feels about having a meeting on Veterans Day.
I don't think we took any action in the not do. We didn't vote not to have council on the 11th, right?
No, not yet. That's what it's just Veterans Day. I looked at it. I was like, I don't know how everybody feels about that.
It's
So-
Veteran Day, but right now all the plans for Veterans Day, the parade, the program, and everything is going to be done on the 8th of November.
Okay.
And everything instead of the 11th, because it is a Tuesday, and they didn't want to try to do it on a Tuesday, all the parades and everything, because a lot of people still be working that day, so.
So is everybody good on the 11th?
But that's a council meeting day,
The
right?
council meeting is on the 18th
It's on the 18th, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
of November.
Yeah, November.
so
yeah.
we did move it.
We moved it, remember? We
Okay.
voted to move it because it was Veterans Day.
So,
That's
well,
a city
I-
holiday.
Yeah, because it's a city holiday.
It's a city holiday.
City
We're not
holiday,
here.
yeah.
There's why I was asking that. Okay.
Yeah. I am curious though, when you, in item number 11, issue of reimbursement, I know Mr. Ward just spoke about it, but I'm just curious about what type of reimbursements we looking at.
so that was me with, I mean, I just look at the Victory Point project and the road project, and now we're talking about Meet Me in the Middle, and we're talking about parking garage, and we're talking about the art walk, and all of these are measured in the millions. These aren't $10,000, $50,000, $30,000 projects, and so far, our pattern has been to fund these from the general fund. So Mr. Wall gave us the counsel that retroactive may be inappropriate or we couldn't do it. That's not I'm not going to go after the state on that one and put that line in the sand. But I do want to say moving forward, given that we have funded Victory Point and we have funded the road project, I would like to see projects in the CRA coming from the CRA with the understanding the De Hoya project is too big. We can't do that in the CRA. I understand that, and we've got the 16 million in the general fund that we're identifying important projects. But the other ones, if there is a debt service, I'm kind of going into it, so I apologize, but just for context, my start of the discussion on if there is a debt service on the parking garage, I would like to see that paid from the CRA, not from the general fund and the CRA, because that serves the folks in the CRA so that they don't have to have on-site parking. That's the actual purpose of the parking garage. So policy things like, that's what I'm looking for in item number 12, is a policy decision on at what point do we say projects are for the greater good of the city and therefore should be funded by the greater good of the city, and are we comfortable saying, all right, folks in Wellness Way, we're taxing you so that we can build something in the historic downtown, or at what point are we saying, we need to operate within our budget, and if we make $5,000 a month, we can't spend $7,000 a month. I'm looking for that direction because I know how I feel, but I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Is the 18th good for everybody for a CRA workshop?
Yeah, that works for me.
It's
You got a
not,
council meeting.
We have council meeting on.
Just do it an hour before, hour and a half before.
He's not available.
yeah, but if the board wants to go ahead, please do, but I've got a hearing in Orange County, I can't be there.
The next one is December 9th, council meeting that we have, also, if you want to do that.
And I don't mind picking a different day if you all want. I'm kind of with Mr. Howard, and I'm getting the vibes from Ms. Schuett that if we can do it sooner, I'm happy to pick a different day.
Yes. Yeah.
Does Thursday work for anybody? Like, you could have Thursday, November the 6th, or Thursday, November the 13th?
Mr. Van Wagner, the 21st, we had a workshop scheduled already. Wasn't something dropped off that workshop? Didn't we eliminate something from that workshop?
The discussion about alternative water is going to be shortened significantly because the council just asked for a report. So St. John's will not be participating at this point, they've told us, because they don't have anything else to give us for information at the moment.
So basically, we just have a short report on the water, and then the other is the Meet Us in the Middle project.
Which is part of the CRA.
Why don't we
So-
do it then?
So that's
I'm fine
fine.
with that.
Do you have enough
that
time for
okay?
advertising?
I'm sorry, which day are we talking about?
Next
October
week,
21st. How's your schedule?
21st, next
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
I won't be here, but Nicole, that gives us enough
Yes,
time.
I will make that work.
Mis-
to
We're good on advertising? Okay.
Mr. Crawford, you say you won't be here?
On the 21st, I will be.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you're
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
So what I would ask is, Allison, if you would just make this 5 through 9 and
Yep.
table all of those to the 21st.
So I move to table items 5 through 9 until the October 21st workshop.
Second.
Could I
Okay.
ask what time you want to do that meeting? Just,
Well, whatever time I think we already had it set for 3 o'clock, right?
are we going to make that, well, is it going to be a CRA meeting or is it going to be part of the workshop?
You'd have to do it before or after.
Do we want to do a workshop and follow with a quick meeting? Because once we kind of talk about this, I think we probably could vote on it.
We couldn't do both at the same time, Mr.?
We can't do them both, yeah, that would even be better.
He's gonna earn some money
Tell us how to
today.
get there.
Well, we're talking about a workshop for the CRA, correct?
Yeah, what we're trying to figure out is how to spend the 1.7 million
Right.
relative to these big projects, and what is our policy going to be, and what are our priority projects?
Sure. I mean, you could come to a consensus or whatever you want at the workshop, and then certainly make a decision at a meeting afterwards.
So do a 3 o'clock workshop and maybe a 4:30 meeting?
It's totally within your purview.
I could do that.
Okay,
Do we want to do that? Does that
that's
work?
fine,
Does that work for everybody? There you go.
yes.
All right.
Nicole, are you okay with that?
Yeah, so you're not doing a workshop as council. You are only doing a workshop as CRA and then a meeting as CRA, correct?
Do we need to notice both?
We're doing the workshop, the
They're
regular
noticed separately, yes.
Yeah.
Council and
council
CRA are
and
separate.
CRA.
Yeah, let's notice both since we have that reclaimed water update that's coming, and that's before council. So
Okay.
Do
So
do
we're
you
gonna-
want to do that at 4:30, knowing you've got the discussion for meet us in the middle going on there? And
I
there's
thought
gonna-
the one
Well, I
meet
think
us
that's
in the
part
middle
of it.
started at 3.
Doesn't it start at 3?
Yeah.
and meet us
It
in the
does,
middle?
but you all were saying 4:30 for the other one. I don't know, there's going to be a number of people.
So it could be longer.
We've sort of talked meet us in the middle to death, so I mean, if.
I'm just
If we haven't
telling you,
figured that out yet. I mean,
There's
come on.
anticipation in the community to be involved in that discussion, so I'm just
I-
letting you all know.
we
Are you
started-
suggesting we should move it at 2 o'clock instead?
I am.
Okay, that would be fine with
There you
me.
go.
And this might be a question for the board or for Mr. Wall, but meet us in the middle if the CRA is going to be asked to fund it, and I think that's totally appropriate. Can we do it as a joint workshop with both council and CRA if it's advertised as such?
Yes.
Oh,
I
So-
would
Even
ask.
better.
I don't know what the council
So we
thinks,
can,
obviously.
we can start the workshop at 3 o'clock and we can handle all at the same time
yeah,
on
Well,
one
that sounds
agenda.
great. That
All
sounds
right,
better.
without having to separate the two.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds better.
that's even better.
That's what my question was before.
Thank you.
Claremont's government is efficient.
3 o'clock's fine.
Thank
3 o'clock.
Thank you
We'll
for
do both at the
clarifying
same
that, Mr. Crawford.
Yes. Thank you,
You wanna take a vote?
everyone.
You gotta take a vote? Table it?
Yeah.
So I moved. Did you second?
Yeah, you're already
Okay,
good to go.
so we've got a
So we're
motion and a second.
tabling items 5 through 9.
I think she asked for item through 12.
No, because I'm gonna vote down number 11.
Yeah, I amended 5 through 9. Yeah, I amended it to 5 through 9, and he
Okay.
seconded it.
And I have a motion and a second for, to table items 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 until 21 October. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 All opposed, the chair vote aye as well. Motion passes 6-0. Everything is tabled, 5 through 9 is tabled through till 21 October, 3 o'clock. Item number 10, new comprehensive plan team.
Oh, I saw puzzle pieces.
Who's, that's you, Miss Strange?
Will you present who everybody is? Thanks.
Sure, so we just wanted to announce the new comprehensive plan team. So we're going to be working city staff alongside with DPZ Design Co. and ABA Ethos. We've got a new economic development director coming in as well that we have hired. He's going to start on the 20th, so next week, that is. He'll be starting next week. And a urban designer that's going to be working with the economic development director along with the new comprehensive plan team. So we're excited about it. We're looking forward to the new staff coming on board as well as the team that's put in place. I think it's going to be an amazing comprehensive plan.
Awesome. Thank you.
So thank you.
Beautiful.
Mr. Math, we have any idea how long this whole process is gonna take?
I believe it was 12 to 18 months for the comp plan.
12 to 18 months?
Correct.
Okay.
But the code should be
The code is-
faster, right?
Yeah, the code is going to be faster, at least for the Northwest Quadrant. That should be 6 to 8 months. And then once you put in, once we come back with the rest of the city, that should add another 3 to 4 months to the process.
Yeah.
And is that 6 to 8 months from when we hired them?
We're having a kickoff on the 22nd.
Okay.
With all, and that's going to be a joint kickoff with the comp plan and the code. So they're going to be working on them simultaneously.
So by the summer, we should have new codes for downtown, well, for the Northwest
We
Quadrant.
should at least have a very good draft, if not a newly adopted code.
Just want to pin you down on that one.
Yeah. And Mr. Howard, last time the county did it, it was 5 years is what they took. So let's,
Well, I guess
I
that's
love
why
this
I,
schedule.
that's why I asked the question,
Yeah.
because I know it's usually a pretty slow process. It takes some time usually.
Yeah,
Fortunately, they're very good at what they do, and they do it very quickly.
nice.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
It's a great update. So this is an item for discussion. Do we have to vote?
No.
No.
Okay, great.
Uh,
And the issue for reimbursement, we've been counseled that we can't do retroactive. I don't know if there's anything to vote on then.
Let me say this for the official record. We're done with item number 12, number 10, right? So let's
Yeah.
move on to item number 11, issue of reimbursement. Okay.
Well, to your point, I think I've given you my advice. It doesn't mean you have to listen to it.
Sure.
You know,
No,
I
I'm
mean,
familiar with that.
I know.
So for what about, like, we're still paying on Victory Point, for example. So future payments, is that considered future debt, or is that just future payments? Might those come out of the CRA, or must they continue to come out of the general fund as they have?
I think that you, in coordination with the city council, could make a decision on how to split expenses if you wanted, prospectively.
So, like future
Because it's
monthly
in your
payments.
redevelopment plan. I mean, a lot
Right.
of this stuff is in your redevelopment plan. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised in looking through it how much was in there. I mean, even it references parking, so, you know,
Right.
but I think you have a lot of flexibility here on what you want to do.
So
Mr. Bohr.
my thing, hold on. So my thing with this, because I really don't want to get into it, I don't want to go back to old projects. I want to move forward looking at the things that we can do. We now have, like it was said earlier, this is not the downtown of 2015. You know, we're in 2025. I think there are projects that we can look at that are going to move this city forward. And I would like to look at the current projects. I don't want to go back. There's like I said, there's a finite amount of money in here. There are plenty of projects that we're looking at right now that would eat up every last dollar of this.
Sure.
And so I think I get what you're trying to do. I just disagree with it, because I think we have plenty to do from a forward-looking, and then we don't have Mr. Wall getting
Wonky.
wonky.
So, and
I
I
could tell he was uncomfortable with the conversation,
Scott.
so.
I completely agree with you, and I want you to know, in case anybody watching is feeling like I'm having some sort of agenda here. My goal here is to find out the truth of what's been done, to have clarity, because I agree. I think the forward-moving projects, what I don't want to do is handcuff the CRA. I want to set it up for success, but I also want to be responsible with the choices that we've made and what we continue to do, so that we can acknowledge what continues to be done. And that's why, Mr. Bohr, I kind of waved at you, because I would like to know what our annual payments are, or monthly, whatever. I'm thinking annually on the Victory Point that we still are paying, and also if we have debt, which I think we do, on the roadway project. What is the annual cost of those to the general fund, and how many more years do we have left on those?
I don't have that information readily available, but I could quickly provide that to you through city manager. I would say, in relation to that question, is the Victory Point project was part of what was referred to as the multi-project loan. And that debt repayment comes from a number of different sources throughout the city budget, so only a portion is directly tied to that project. I want to say it's currently being paid for by, at least in part, by our stormwater fund. But again, I can get you specifics after the meeting.
But we still have debt on both of those projects.
Absolutely.
And an idea of how long we're talking?
I
It's several
want to
years
say
still,
it's
right?
about 10 years, but again, I'm doing that off the top of my head. I'll get you specifics after the meeting.
Okay, great, thank
Yeah,
you.
because in my head, I'm thinking 7, because we had the majority of debt paid off within 4 to 5, and then,
We lowered it or something?
yeah, and then there's like just a few things after that take us through like 7 to 9. And with the exception of the wastewater treatment, that would have retired almost all of our debt. And if I'm remembering correctly, that all of our debt was retired within 10 years, with the exception of that one piece, which they just took on 2 years ago.
I mean, I agree with Mr. Howard. I just want to look forward, but it is important to me that whatever discussion we have at the workshop results in a new redevelopment plan that we're moving forward from a really good plan that we've put thought and discussion and public input into. So that makes it make even more sense for me to just look to the future. I think it's the right time. We have all this great planning happening with the comprehensive plan and the form-based code overlay and what ABA Ethos is doing. So I think it's the right time. We're going to want to look to the future, but let's do it responsibly, and let's have a really good plan for our CRA redevelopment as well.
Okay, and I guess that's why I asked the question earlier about the issue of reimbursement, because I am, as Mr. Howard said, I'm not looking to go backwards. I'm looking to go forward, and I don't want to go back and try to reimburse and redo everything previous councils have done, especially after all these years. It's my understanding that the Victory Point process, debt was supposed to be done in 33, I think it was, which is about 8 more years I thought we had on that and everything. So I'm not looking to go forward, go backwards on any of these debts for reimbursement. As Mr. Howard said, I think we got enough on our agenda here that we can eat up that 1.7 million in no time, you know. So, but Mr. Scott, that was going to be my question. What Ms. Strange asked you for was all the figures, exactly what we owe and everything, where everything is. So if you can go ahead and provide that to Mr. Van Wagner, and I guess all the board members as well, all that information, I would appreciate it. Okay. So,
Thank you. Thank you for the discussion, folks.
anything else on item number 11? All right, we good. Item number 12, clarify expenses funded by the Community Redevelopment Agency and compared to the general and enterprise funds.
So these, I think, when we talked about this is kind of the summary. I can't say that I have a complete picture of how the CRA is funded from other funds. And I do think that it's important. As a council, we worked really hard this year to separate and split out, like where we were, for example, paying for police vehicles from the infrastructure fund, for example. And again, it's not, my intention is to be open and honest and to use the word transparent about what it is that we are funding and from where. And so we're going to talk more policy at the workshop. We're going to talk some specifics. I completely agree on a redevelopment plan. I just would like, when we come to that workshop, to also have a very clear picture, an honest picture about what other funds are funding projects within the CRA so that we know what they are. Because going to the next item, when we get there, it will make sense why I'm asking for that. I don't want to jump ahead, but I want to set us up for success, and that requires having a complete picture of what we're doing financially throughout the city as it relates to the CRA. So I'm looking for your support as, at this point when we come to the workshop, to have council bring, or staff bring us a really solid picture on where we're spending money in the CRA. Do we all agree on that, or?
Yes.
We do. I think where you're coming at is that I don't necessarily see Victory Point as a CRA issue. I see that as a stormwater issue. So while I get why you say it is, I'm not necessarily there. Mm-hmm. I think there's you can look at a project and say, oh, that's a CRA project. But then I may look at it from a different perspective and say, I'm not sure that's it. So some things you can look at, beautification. Well, that's a CRA project, 100%. Meet us in the middle. I think, you can see both sides on that, but I really think that is sort of a CRA project. But when we get into some of the other stormwater and retention and all of that, I'm not sure that I see that way. And so
that's
why I get concerned when you want to go into policy with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I start getting nervous on handcuffing us and saying, okay, this is what it should be. And I'm not sure that it should be. I think it just needs to be fluid. We land on our budget and we call our budget what it is. And it gives future CRA board members that flexibility, because people aren't going to see it the way you do or the way I do or the way Tim does.
Well, you've actually touched on the issue of policy is what what I'm looking for more than, are we gonna fund this project, are we gonna fund that project, is what are the criteria by which we're using to determine if something is CRA? Frankly, if our policy was established correctly, you and I wouldn't disagree about whether something is a CRA project or if it's not, because we would have standards that would be easy to measure against to be able to say, well, this is a CRA project, this is not a CRA project. That's where I'm coming from in this, is to, as a council and as a board, to say, yeah, we agree that when something meets this criteria, then it benefits the whole of the city. Or when it doesn't, you know, because I actually might challenge you on Meet Me in the Middle to say, well, it's supposed to actually be the center of the state. So not only is that potentially the whole city, but it actually, we should be talking to the state, you know, who is benefiting from it. So that's what I'm looking for when I say policy, is the criteria that we use to measure. And so that's what I'm looking for. And I can't do it outside of a meeting, so I have to do it here.
I think you're
Okay.
asking for too much to find that agreement. You were asking way too much for us to come up with a standard of what that, because we don't know what projects are gonna come up. I get where you're going. I'm just gonna tell you that I don't see us getting there. And I don't want to spend an enormous amount of time on it because I don't think it changes the mission of the CRA.
And
And
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm gonna give you a minute, but I'm gonna wanna move on, cause we only have 5 minutes
30
left.
seconds. I just
Okay.
would ask the board to keep in the back of their mind at least what I call the lottery bait and switch. The CRA is not designed to take over all the expenses for downtown projects.
right.
It's supposed to be over and above incrementally with the city. So if the city wants to take budgeted dollars away from downtown because the CRA exists, I don't think I necessarily agree with that. I think we should, but I love the idea of some kind of evaluation process. You know, I'm the attorney for the Lake County Water Authority, and we have a very specific grant funding checklist that goes down and staff ranks and does all that stuff. But you can certainly get too tight with that where you don't have the flexibility.
Yes, and I totally agree, and again, agree with Mr. Howard. I don't think we need to set policies that's gonna tie us. I would like to continue to do each one of these cases in the CRA on a case-by-case basis like we've always done them, and I think that'll give us more flexibility and everything, so. We have one more item that we can spend about 4 minutes on, item number 13, projected income from the Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA. Yes, ma'am.
So 30 seconds on this one. One of the groups that's in our comprehensive plan is an organization called U3, and what they do is they look at every single piece of real estate and they identify what the taxable value of that real estate is. They do really pretty pictures. I want us to be thinking, and this is why I brought it, about not only where we are today, but anticipating what level of growth we're willing to accept to increase that taxable value, because that may well relate to height restrictions downtown and density restrictions downtown. So I want us to be thinking about that because it's going to come up in the next several months, and I don't want to be blindsided by it.
Okay.
I like 55 feet.
How many? What'd you say? 55 feet. I mean, and that maybe that's it, but that's what we need to be able to say that to DPZ.
To go back to, thank you.
Yeah.
Go back to item, Mr. Van Wagner and Mr. Matthews, did you get the list of all the items she was asking you for on item 12?
Yes.
The information she was asking, okay, all right, thank you. I didn't ask, I want to make sure we got all that and it can be presented before we go into the next workshop, okay? Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay, with nothing else, I'm